One is SAP ECC, that is Enterprise Core Component, and there you get all the main modules like MM, PP, SD, etc., etc. Fine. And one is this one, SAP SCM. It stands for SAP Supply Chain Management. Within SAP SCM, Supply Chain Management, we have got various modules like APO. We have got ICH. ICH stands for Inventory Collaboration Hub. We have got EWM, that is Extended Warehouse Management. We have got TM, that is Transportation Management. So within SCM, that is Supply Chain Management Suite, we will be basically concentrating on SAP APO. So APO stands for Advanced Planning and Optimization. So what we do here is basically this is a planning tool. We do the supply chain planning here. And later on ECC system it executes, because ECC system it has got a legal standing with it. So basically ECC system, which we call as R3 also, in past it was used as R3, now it is called as ECC, Enterprise Core Component. I repeat, that system ECC has got, basically there are two separate boxes, one is ECC and one is SCM. In ECC, we have got PP, MM, SD, etc. And in APO system, basically in SCM system, we have got APO, ICH, TM, EWM, etc. So these two boxes, they talk to each other using CIF, that is core interface. I will show you that using a diagram also as we move forward. Okay. So basically APO stands for Advanced Planning and Optimization. This is used to plan and execute supply chain processes. And there are three kinds of planning: strategic, tactical, and operational planning level. Strategic is for a very, very long term, say 2-3 years down the line or 5 years down the line. Tactical is up to 1 year, and operational is say 1 week, 2 weeks, or 4 weeks, or 1 month. Okay. So APO allows us to plan on all three levels: strategic, tactical, and operational. Okay. And APO, it facilitates cooperation between different partners of the supply chain. When we say different partners of the supply chain, we are talking about vendors, customers, and then different suppliers, and also the various elements in the supply chain like order receiving, order issuing, goods in, goods out, etc., etc. Okay. And the main benefit of APO is we can constantly optimize the supply chain and improve the efficiency. When we talk about improving the efficiency, when we talk about improving the efficiency, we are talking about higher order fill rate, then we are talking about like higher customer satisfaction, etc., etc. Okay. Okay, continuing with this thing. We have got various modules in SAP APO, means SAP APO itself is an umbrella. Under this umbrella, we have got 4 different modules. One is demand planning, that is known as DP. Then we have got SNP, that is supply network planning. Then we have got PPDS, production planning and detailed scheduling. And we have got GATP, that is global available to promise. So in this training program, I will be talking about all these 4 modules very briefly, just to give you a basic overview of what these 4 modules are about. But we will be mainly concentrating on PPDS, that is production planning and detailed scheduling. Okay. So coming to PPDS mainly, what is PPDS used for? See, there are two kinds of things. One is in-house production, means when a factory or say some production house, it manufactures something inside it, that is called as in-house production in SAP terms. And if we are going to procure something from outside, this is called as external procurement. Okay, so it can be either in-house production when we are manufacturing it ourselves, or if we are going to buy it from outside from some vendor or from some other party, then it is external procurement. So basically APPPDS is used for planning of these things, either in-house production or the external procurement. Okay, and also basically it is used to optimize the resources. When I say resource, basically I mean a work center. In ECC it is called as work center. Work center means basically a machine. It can be anything, a machine or a person. So basically the thing which helps in the production, for example machine or a worker, etc., it is known as work center in ECC, and in APO this is known as resource. Okay, and PPDS is typically used to plan the critical products. Critical products means which have got long replenishment lead times. When we say long replenishment lead times, means it takes us some time to replenish the stock of those products. Okay, or to do the planning on bottleneck resources. Bottleneck resources are those resources where the capacity is limited. Means suppose I need that particular machine or a resource for a period of say 18 hours in a day, but that resource is available only for 12 hours a day. So that becomes my bottleneck resource because I have got a limited capability there. So I can manufacture only for 12 hours on that resource, so it becomes a bottleneck resource. In PPDS planning, both the resource and the component availability are taken into account. Means the capacity of the resource of the machine, that is taken into account, and also the component availability. Means to say to make a car, various components are required, say as chassis or engine or wheels, etc. Whether those components are available or not, that is also taken into account. When we talk about benefits of PPDS in supply chain, these are reduced lead times, increase on-time delivery performance, increasing the throughput of the products, reducing stock costs, etc., etc. Means as we go forward, these benefits will be quite clear to you. Okay, so this was the basic introduction about APO and also specifically about PPDS. Now what I will do is I will take you through a guide, means the initial basis of this guide. Basically this guide is from APO only, from SAP only, and this details about PPDS. Typically what we are assuming is we are using SAP SCM system, and as I told you, APO is a part of this SAP SCM system in conjunction with SAP ECC. Means we are using SAP ECC and SAP APO together. Okay, now I will show you. See, as you can see, we have got two systems, SAP ECC and also we have got SAP SCM. And within SAP SCM, as I told you, we have got APO, EM, ICH, etc. Fine. So we will be talking about mainly APO. And this ECC is typically the system where we have got materials management, production planning, sales and distribution, etc. And these two systems, they talk to each other using core interface. This is known as CIF, in short CIF, that stands for core interface. Okay. And also we use one system for reporting, that is known as SAP BW, that is business warehouse. we can call it as BW, or these days it's called as BI, business intelligence. Okay, so basically this is the repository where all the information is stored. Mainly these two systems, in these two systems ECC is used typically for execution part and SCM is used for the planning part. Okay. This shows more in detail what we just talked about. Within APO system, we have got DP, that is demand planning. We have got GATP, that is global available to promise. We have got SNP, that is supply network planning, and we have got PPDS, that is production planning and detailed scheduling. In addition to this, we have got TPVS, that is transportation planning and vehicle scheduling. Okay. And constantly this APO box or the SCM box, it interacts with the ECC or the enterprise core component. Okay. So basically there are two kinds of data. One is master data and one is transactional data. So master data is something which does not change as rapidly as the transactional data. I will give you an example. For example, say there is a company which is manufacturing mobiles. Okay. So to manufacture a mobile, say you need battery, you need headphones, you need memory card, etc. So like this. So this typically becomes my master data. Okay. And the transactional data is something which we do only for some transactional basis. So transactional basis means I got an order for a car. Okay. So that particular order, that becomes a transactional data, because what will happen is that order will come, I will deliver that car, and then that particular order will close. So that becomes my transactional data. So the sales orders, planned orders, production orders, etc. all these are called as transactional data, because basically this is only for transaction. Master data is something which does not change with time. Now I'm not able to talk to you, so I'm not able to understand what is your background, whether you understand something about must have worked previously in SAP or not. So once we are able to talk accordingly, I will take the master data sessions also, whether you need to understand the master data also, because what happens is specifically APO gets its master data from ECC only. Means in ECC we prepare the master data and then we sift it to APO. So APO derives its master data typically from ECC. Okay, so as I told you, we have got DP, we have got PPDS, we have got SNP, etc. Various modules are there. Now we will briefly, very briefly talk about the various modules like DP, SNP, PPDS, etc. Fine. And then we will go into depth of PPDS. So in ECC, we have got planned independent requirements. Planned independent requirements are nothing but the forecast. So what happens is we have got forecast and we have got sales orders. So on the basis of forecast and the sales orders, what we do is we do our planning. So DP, that is demand planning, typically deals with sales orders and the forecasts. Okay. So what we do is on the basis of these sales orders and forecasts, we do planning in SNP and PPDS. Okay. SNP is typically for medium to long term planning and PPDS is typically for short term planning. When we say short term planning, we are talking about up to a level of 1 month, say. Okay. This thing might vary from one organization, from one company to another company, whether they want to employ PPDS for 1 week or for 15 days or for 1 month time horizon. But typically S&P is for a longer term planning and PPDS is for a short term planning. Okay. So what happens is when we are planning with S&P and PPDS, then what we are doing is we are creating planned orders, we are creating purchase requisitions, and we are creating STRs, that is stock transport requisition. Okay, I'm repeating it. When we are planning with S&P or PPDS, what we are doing is we are creating planned orders, we are creating purchase requisitions, and we are creating stock transport requisitions. And then what happens is later on these are converted, these planned orders, because planned orders simply means they are planned. You cannot make something out of those orders because they are just on the basis of plan. So to make something out of that, what you need to do is you need to convert these planned orders into production orders. So the trigger to convert these planned orders to production orders is from APO box only, but these are actually done in ECC, means the conversion actually happens from planned order to production order in the ECC system. Then purchase requisitions are converted to purchase order. Again, the trigger happens from APO system only. And these stock transport requisitions, they are converted to stock transport orders. This is done during the deployment thing. Okay, so deployment, it typically comes as part of S&P. If we talk about the difference between purchase requisition and the stock transport requisition is, okay, let us talk about all these three elements. Planned order is something when I'm making something within my factory, that is called as in-house. So in that case, I got my planned order because I am making it myself within my factory. When I say purchase requisition, that typically means I am going to buy it from a vendor. Okay. And stock transport requisition basically means, like within my company, I have got a supply chain. For example, I have got a factory, then I have got various warehouses, and then I have got distribution centers, and then I have got customers. So like this, there is a complete chain, means there is a factory, then I have got warehouses, I have got distribution centers, and then I have got customers. So in that case, when within the same company, it is being moved from one place to another place, that is from factory to DCs or from distribution centers to customers, then it is called as stock transport requisition. But if the factory is buying some components or something from outside, then it is called as purchase requisition. So that is the main difference between purchase requisitions and the stock transport requisitions. Okay. And as you can see, SAP APO is a planning tool that cannot be used in isolation. Okay, rather it gets its data from ECC. So APO is dependent upon ECC for master data and also for the stocks and sales orders, etc. for plan. Okay, so basically these two systems, they go hand in hand, they are in sync with each other using C for the core interface. Now when we are able to talk, I will talk to you whether you understand about something about the core interface also or not. Depending upon that, I will take some session on SIF also. Okay. So we briefly talked about the demand planning also. So when I was talking about this thing, supply chain, so this is typically my example of a supply chain. As you can see on the bottom, we have got vendors. These things, these are factories. These are distribution centers. Here these are distribution centers and these are customers. Okay. So these factories, they are buying something from outside, that is from these vendors. These distribution centers and these factories, they are shown in one circle just because they belong to the same company. Within the same company, we have got all these factories as well as these distribution centers. Okay. And these vendors, as these are from outside, so they are shown outside the circle. These are not part of this company. Also these customers, they are outside, They are not part of this company. That is why they are shown outside. But these are linked because these factories do buy some components or some raw material from these vendors. Okay. And also say these customers, they buy the things from these distribution centers or the warehouses. Okay. So what happens is, like when these factories are buying from these vendors, then this is known as purchase requisition. Okay. And when these factories, they are supplying something which has been manufactured inside these factories to these distribution centers, then it becomes STR, or the stock transport requisitions. And when these distribution centers, again these are supplying to customers, then also this is STR only, stock transport requisition. Okay, I hope this is clear. So typically this planning for the whole supply chain, this is done in SNP, supply network planning. But as I said, supply network planning is medium to long term planning, means we can plan up to say a horizon of 1 year or 2 years. But typically the planning which is done for a shorter horizon, that is say for a period of next 15 months or next 1 month, next 15 days, sorry, next 15 days or next 1 month, that is done in PPDS, that is production planning and detailed scheduling. Okay. This is a diagram which talks about like how do SNP and PPDS talk to each other, that is supply network planning and production planning detailed scheduling. How do they talk to each other? Means typically what happens is there is a horizon. Horizon is nothing but a timeline. Okay. So as we go forward, you can see on this scale, say this is today. So starting from today, say up to a period of 15 days, means today is 11th March, say up to a period of 26th March, we are doing the planning in PPDS, that is production planning and detailed scheduling. So this is almost real-time planning. This is the planning in very short horizon. So this is called as PPDS horizon, where we are doing the planning in PPDS horizon. Okay. And this time interval, say after 26th March up to say next 6 months or so, this is being done in supply network planning. Whether it is done for next 6 months or 8 months or 4 months, that is decided based upon the company needs. There is no hard and fast rule as per APO that the next planning will be done for 4 months or 6 months or 8 months. It totally depends upon the need of the organization. Okay. So this planning is done say up to say level of 6 to 8 months. This is done in SNP, and when we come to say horizon of next 15 days or 20 days, then we do the planning in PPDs. So typically what we do is the orders which are there in which have been created in SNP, that is supply network planning, they are converted into PPDS orders, that is production planning and detailed scheduling orders. The main difference is like in SNP we have got higher level orders, means typically we will say this much quantity is manufactured say in 1 week or say in 1 day, but we do not know how exactly each machine will manufacture that. So that level of planning means to plan exactly how much will be manufactured by each machine in a day or say even in a second. That kind of planning, that level of minuteness is available only in PPDS, that is production planning and detailed scheduling. Okay. So Mazid, see, I will go forward only once I am able to talk to you, because then I will see whether you understand something about APOs or not. Otherwise, first I will take some sessions on what is APO, what is master data, what is transactional data, etc. And then only I will move forward. So this was just for the purpose of demo, because Shriram asked me to take this demo session. So I am stopping it here. And in next session, if you plan to continue, first I will talk to Shriram so that I'm able to talk to you during these sessions, because otherwise it becomes